elders present here, pastors, my regards to you. My greetings to everyone assembled here. On my right, I see Jesse, and on my left, I see Debbie. Jesse's side, we call it extended family, and then Debbie's side also extended family. And some of us, or perhaps many of us, are friends here. I am very happy about this gathering. May I call this the Kingdom community? We are all God's children, children of God. All of us are believers. Why can't we call ourselves the Kingdom community? Kingdom of God, the definition goes like this. Kingdom of God is the Christ-centered rule of God. I repeat, Kingdom of God is the Christ-centered rule of God. And this Christ-centered rule of God is present in the community. We call it church. Church is the miniature of the Kingdom of God. In the church, we see the Christ-centered rule of God. We see it here. The question here is, do we long for kingdom blessings? Do we long for kingdom blessings? Kingdom blessings are definitely different. Paul calls these spiritual blessings in heavenly places. So when Paul prays, he always prays for kingdom blessings. So we call his prayers kingdom prayers. Why don't we also pray like that? Why don't we also have our prayers tuned that way? Kingdom prayers. Now, such a kingdom prayer we see in the book of Ephesians, chapter 3, from verse 14 till 21. It's a kingdom prayer. Paul is praying for all of us. We can apply it straight away. Here, Paul talks of great things, talks of God's blessings here, and he prays in such a way that everyone would be willing to receive such blessings. He prays asking the Father. He calls the Father, Father from whom we are all named. From whom we are all named. Father from whom we are all named. When we say we are named as children of God, it applies to us. Now, when he prays for the community here, or children of God on the earth, and children of God in heaven. So we call the community present here, we call it community kicking or community militant. I may be permitted to use that word. Militant, church militant here, and church triumphant in heaven. Church militant, church triumphant. And we both belong to God, and we are named as children of God. That's our privilege. When that is our privilege, it is our privilege to receive wonderful blessings from Him. So particularly at this time, we seek those blessings. Blessings for the couple who are going to be joined tomorrow. We need to seek such blessings. These days when we hear of prosperity gospel, very often we get repelled. Very often we get repelled. Why? Much of emphasis, much of overemphasis we see. So that's why we get repelled at these blessings. We always long for, or we should long for, the heavenly blessings. Paul says these blessings go like this. He wants our inner man to be strengthened. He wants our inner being to be strengthened. So that's his desire. How? Through the power of the Spirit of God. Through the power of the Spirit of God. Paul wants us to be strengthened in our inner man. That's his desire. That's his desire. And if that is fulfilled, how wonderful it would be. We are strengthened as believers through the power of the Spirit. Then another item he puts forth. Christ might dwell in your hearts. When he is speaking of that, he is not equating the Spirit of God with the Spirit of Christ. He wants Christ to dwell in our hearts. It's our privilege as believers. We know for sure that Christ dwells in us. When we know for sure that Christ dwells in us, we should also know for sure that the Spirit of God is dwelling in us, because Paul is not differentiating. He is equating. So we know that the Lord is strengthening us each day. And if we want this couple to be strengthened that way, how wonderful it would be. That's why I'm calling it kingdom prayer. We need to pray that way. And then there is another thing he is also praying for. That is the love of Christ. He calls it love of Christ beyond all comprehension, beyond knowledge. This love of Christ, he says, are together with all those saints. We need to long for comprehending this love. How? By measuring this love of Christ, the length, breadth, the height, the width, and so on. He talks of that. So love of Christ, when we have that love, we always feel protected. We feel safe. Because together with the saints, we are every day experiencing the love of Christ. He is present in us. The Spirit is present in us. The Father is there. Father of both children present here and present in heaven. It's a community. And here, while closing, he closes with doxology. He praises God. And there is a reason. He says, He is capable of blessing. And when he blesses, it is beyond all comprehension again. When he blesses, we might not have longed for such blessings, or we might not have even thought of those. But he is capable of doing far beyond our imagination. So these are the things Paul, when he prays, we need to value such prayers. We need to see the meaning of such prayers. We need to long for praying that way. Perhaps most families keep on praying for the blessings of this world. No wonder, just natural. Because we see all around us people longing for those, and we too get tempted to ask God to bless that way. But when we see prayers of Paul, not only there, everywhere his prayers are different. When he prays, we can very easily call those kingdom prayers, because he prays in such a way that people get blessings, spiritual blessings, and these spiritual blessings belong to heaven. So may these two be blessed that way, and particularly as they enter into the ceremony, I wish them all the best. Thank you.